I was really looking forward to the case of the missing mummy because I'm a big fan of ancient Egypt and I think the subject matter will appeal to a lot of children. Having read it, I can say it's maybe one of the most far fetched, but I did enjoy it. The class, Mary Kate and Ashley's class, visit a museum. They visit the Egyptian wing at the museum, which is due to be closed down because it's just not getting the attention it needs. But it turns out that the mummy has been moved, or the mummy has moved itself. And Mary Kate and Ashley, as the Trenchcoat twins, take it upon themselves to try and solve this mystery. There's also a second mystery going on. Everybody in the class, apart from Patty, Princess Patty, touches the scarab above the doorway into the wing. And there's an inscription that says, if you touch this, you'll be cursed. And of course, they're all saying, we don't believe in the curse. This isn't a thing. I'm going to touch it. And they all do. I think this is pretty standard for what I think most of us would do in that situation. I think we'd be divided between those of us who are terrified and don't want to touch it, and those of us who think it's all rubbish and touch it because we're fearless. And I feel like I'd fall into the former category, I think. And because that's a second mystery, because when they're at school, things start to go missing, except for Patty's possessions. And I won't say any more about the narrative itself. The reason it's a little bit unrealistic is because of how heavily involved Mary Kate and Ashley become at the museum, which in real life, you wouldn't let children loose in a museum like that. But I enjoyed the Egyptian aspect of it. I think there were quite a good number of statistics, not statistics, but facts. I don't know if there were any statistics in this. It wasn't as heavily involved in ancient Egypt as I would have liked, but I feel like it gave a good general sense of what a museum about ancient Egypt would be like. And okay, the cover itself, I think, is actually beautiful. Little Clue has his little headdress on, her headdress on rather. And for anybody who's interested, there's the back of the book. And as usual, it's got a pretty good writing size, really short chapters. So if a child is new to chapter books, it's not going to be too daunting. And the freebie photos on the inside here, one of them's relevant, one of them not so much, but I imagine that would have been a really fun photo shoot. And with regards to the outcome and who was responsible for this mummy moving, I'm not going to say, but I will say that I liked it. I hadn't worked it out, but with hindsight, I probably could have pieced together the bits of the puzzle. I think it was pretty clear once you knew it, which is always really good, because there's nothing worse than when you get to the end and the culprit's revealed, and there were no clues that ever could have possibly led to that person. So I enjoyed it. Maybe not as heavily ancient Egypt as I would have liked, but enough there for it to be atmospheric, for it to be quite fascinating. The case of the missing mummy was pretty good.